Hi, this is Brett from SRmoto. Wanted to give a quick update on our 2013 Honda CRF250L Supermoto conversion. This bike started out as a 2013 Honda CRF250L Dual Sport, and we've converted it to a Supermoto bike for street riding. First off, I just wanted to say that all the parts that I talk about in this video are not only applicable to CRF250L Supermoto, but if you've got just the CRF250L Dual Sport, these parts will work on that bike as well. Some of the parts are a little bit more oriented to Supermoto riding, but most of the parts are going to be, pretty much universal between Supermoto and Dual Sport riding. Also mentioned that you can get to our website a couple different ways. First of all, we have a blog website, which is just SRmoto.com. And again, that's a blog website with just some general information about some of the project bikes we're working on. It also links over to our online store where you can purchase all the parts that I talk about in the video. The online store website address is soloracer.com/dualsportparts.html. And again, you can get to the website via that SRmoto.com website as well. Kind of start out with some of the performance modifications we've done on the bike. We're currently running our Yoshimura RS4 performance exhaust package on the bike. And what this consists of is the Yoshimura RS4 full exhaust system, which includes the muffler and the header pipe. And then you can't see it on the bike, but we've also got installed as a part of the package EJK electronic fuel injection controller, which is pretty much mandatory. Anytime you do these types of modifications to the bike, you need to install some sort of fuel injection controller on the bike, and we've gone with the EJK for simplicity. We've also done a few minor airbox modifications to the bike, nothing major. We've removed the snorkel from the top of the airbox, and we also removed the backfire screen from the front of the stock air filter. We're still running the stock air filter on the bike. Probably at some point we'll install a K&N air filter. I don't know if those are even available yet, but once they are available, we'll install a K&N air filter. And again, that's the Yoshimura RS4 performance exhaust package, which includes the full Yoshimura RS4 exhaust system, and then we've also added the EJK electronic fuel injection controller as well. As you can see, it's really nice looking exhaust system with the carbon end cap. It's got a little small heat shield on it. And then the header pipe tucks in real nice against the side of the engine. Real nice looking exhaust system. Real simple to install. Fits the bike great. Sounds really good. Not too loud. It does include a low noise insert. So it's definitely louder than stock, but not obnoxiously loud like some exhaust systems can be. Okay, now I'll go over some of the stuff we've done to the bike as far as the tail light turn signals. In the rear, we're running our DRC Edge 2 integrated taillight kit. As you can see, there are no external turn signals with this. I'll kind of demonstrate how it works in a second. Essentially what it is it's DRC Edge 2 taillight kit, which bolts up to the subframe of the CRF250L. Includes the taillight itself and then the mounting bracket for the license plate. Also includes a license plate light on the bottom. I don't know how much you'll be able to see of this, but fit and finish is really nice. Integrates really nicely into the fender on the CRF250L. You'll see these holes in the side of the taillight mounting bracket, and what those are, you can optionally add external turn signals to this taillight kit if you want. The lower hole is for the stock turn signals. If you want to keep your stock turn signals, you can do that. The upper hole is for aftermarket LED turn signals. We're not running any of those at this time. We're using this as an integrated taillight kit. Kind of show you how that works here. Basically comes on as a running light. Then I'll hit the brakes here. As you can see, you're going to get the safety brake pulsing, which is one of the features of this integrated taillight kit. Every time you hit the brakes, it's going to pulse a few times automatically. And then as far as the turn signals go, you can see basically half of the taillight flashes whenever you hit your turn signals. That's why it's called the integrated taillight kit. Real nice, clean setup. Very popular for Supermoto guys that want the cleanest looking rear end of the bike they can get. It's also very popular for the dual sport guys that are doing a lot of off-road riding, don't want external turn signals sticking out that can get broken off or whatever. This makes you street legal, gives you the turn signals and everything, but works really well off-road. And we've had some questions about what it looks like when the brake light is applied, when those turn signals are flashing. Hopefully you can see this. You can still see the turn signals even though the brake light's applied. Very popular setup for these bikes. It's called DRC Edge 2 Integrated Taillight Kit. Okay, I'll go over what we've got on the front of the bike now. What we've done in the front, we've installed our Zeta Armor handguard package. We wanted to go with handguards on the bike anyway, so we kind of killed two birds with one stone here. We've got handguards that have integrated LED turn signals in them. I'll demonstrate how that works here in a second. So we're basically running the Zeta Armor handguards, which are the aluminum handguards you see there in black with the white plastic protectors, and then you'll see integrated into them there's LED running lights, LED turn signals. Kind of show you how that works here real quick. And I'll mention a few things too that want to make people aware of. Since we've installed LED turn signals on the front of this bike, first off, normally when you install LED turn signals on a motorcycle, they're going to flash faster than your stock turn signals did. They'll flash about twice as fast. You'll notice ours are not doing that. They're flashing at the normal rate. And that's because we've installed a 12 o'clock Labs fixed rate turn signal flasher on the bike. You just need one of them. Real simple installation. It actually installs up under the tank shroud on this side of the bike, right under the radiator overflow tank. You can't see it here, but it's basically up behind that black plastic piece. It's a fixed rate turn signal flasher. It will make your front and rear turn signals flash slow like your stock turn signals do. We highly recommend that fixed rate turn signal flasher on the Honda. We did run into certain situations where we couldn't get the turn signals to work at all unless we had one of those installed. So basically we recommend that part on the CRF250L. The theory is that the stock fixed rate flasher just doesn't work very well with LEDs, so it can cause some issues. So we've installed it and everything works fine. Also, the CRF250L comes with running lights in the front. The stock front turn signals come on as running lights. They're always on when you're going down the road, and then they come on as turn signals when you hit your turn signals. If you install LEDs like we've got here, you'll lose the running light feature unless you install our 12 O'Clock Labs running light adapters, which will be wired in. They're wired in up under the headlight shroud, and they will make your stock, or they'll make your front LED turn signals also work as running lights. So if you want running lights in the front, purchase that 12 O'Clock Labs running light adapter as well. If you don't care about the running lights, you can just wire everything up and you'll just get turn signals. So again, that's a Zeta Armor handguard package with the optional LED turn signals. Talk a little bit more about that. The Zeta Armor handguard package, it consists of two parts. This aluminum armor handguard, which attaches to the handlebar, and then the plastic protector, which is called a Zeta XC protector. You can get these in a couple different colors. We're running the black aluminum here. You can also get them in anodized red, titanium silver as well. The plastic protectors you can get in white, black, red, a couple different colors you can choose from for those. We just went with the black with the white. A lot of people will go with the anodized red aluminum. Looks good on the Honda. White seems to be pretty popular for the plastic protectors as well as red. Okay, so that's the Zeta Armor handguard package. A couple of the other things we've done, we got rid of the stock seat, and we're running a Seat Concepts complete seat. Much more comfortable seat than the stock seat. As you can see, it's substantially wider. One of the problems with the stock seat on these bikes is it's so narrow. The Seat Concepts is about 2 inches wider than the stock seat at its widest point, and it just makes the bike much more comfortable to ride. There's a couple different options on the seat. We're running the standard foam height on this bike, which makes the seat about the same height as the stock seat that comes on the bike. You can also get it in a tall version, which is a little bit taller, like 3/4 of an inch to an inch taller than the standard height seat. So if you're comfortable with the stock seat on the bike, go with the standard foam height on these. If you want something a little bit taller, a little bit more foam to it, go with the tall version. As far as the seat covers go, we're running the red and black cover here, and what it is it's a black gripper material on the top of the seat, and then it's got like a red carbon vinyl on the sides. It's got like a carbon weave to it. It's kind of hard to tell in the video, so that's one option. You can also get an all black version of this same seat where it's got the black gripper on the top, and then it's got a black carbon vinyl on the sides. And then there's an all black carbon vinyl, which is going to have the all black carbon on the whole seat. The gripper seats seem to be popular. If you want something you can move around a little bit easier on the bike, then go with the all carbon vinyl. Again, that's the Seat Concepts complete seat. Bolts directly onto the bike. You just take the two bolts that hold the stock seat on, take the stock seat off, put this on, and put the bolts back on. You're ready to go. It's as simple as that. And this is the newer version of the Seat Concept seat. Some of the older versions, there were some minor complaints here and there about the fit of the seat pan on the bike. Since then, Seat Concepts has actually upgraded the seat pan. They've totally redesigned it. This one installs on the bike in a matter of seconds, slips right on just like the stock seat, and fits the bike perfectly. One of the most popular upgrades for these bikes, I would say, because the stock seat just is not very comfortable. This is gonna make you able to do the longer rides without having to get off the bike every 50 or 60 miles. Okay, out back here we're running a SRmoto billet cargo rack. This is probably the most popular rack we sell for these bikes. Bolts directly to the rear subframe of the Honda CRF250L. Goes through the fender. You have to drill some 4 holes in the fender. And then the cargo rack itself sits up on 4 spacers, sits it up about a 1/2 inch off of the fender itself. Real sturdy, nice and sturdy cargo rack. And we usually run like a Wolfman peak tail bag on this, which straps directly to the cargo rack. Again, it's a SRmoto billet cargo rack. For foot pegs, we got rid of the stock foot pegs, and we are running DRC motard foot pegs, or they're Supermoto foot pegs. These are a little bit wider than the stock foot pegs as far as the giving you a comfortable surface to stand on. They don't stick out quite as far as the stock foot pegs, and they're a little bit higher, and that's pretty important for Supermoto riding. You want to keep the foot pegs as far away from the pavement as possible when you're taking the corners low. So that's why these sit up a little bit higher and don't stick out as far. They also have that plastic, replaceable plastic slider on the bottom of the foot peg, and that's there to keep the foot peg from digging into the pavement, and instead it'll slide across the pavement. That red plastic piece is also replaceable if you ever break it or wear it out. Again, it's a DRC motard foot pegs. We are running a hammerhead folding shift lever on the bike. As most of you know, these bikes do not come with any type of folding shift lever, which can be a problem. If you were to hit it, it could actually bend it or push it into your engine case. The stock shift lever anyways. These are designed with a folding tip so that they'll fold instead of bend. Comes in black with the red tip, looks really good on the bike. It's a hammerhead folding shift lever. For handlebars, we replaced the stock bars with Zeta CX handlebars in the motard medium bend, which is a very similar bend to the stock bars, so they're almost exactly the same width and shape of the stock handlebars. These are going to be made out of aluminum though instead of steel, and they're going to have a crossbar with a crossbar pad. It says Zeta on it. Again, it's a Zeta CX handlebar. We also replaced the stock grips with our favorite grips for these types of bikes, which are the Pro Taper pillow top grips. Super comfortable. They have sort of a vibration dampening material that they're made out of. Just a real comfortable grip for Supermoto, dual sport, motocross, off-road riding. It's a Pro Taper pillow top grip. We do have a Flatland Racing Radiator Guard on the bike. That's not really super necessary for Supermoto riding, but we did have this bike configured as a dual sport bike before, so we naturally put a Radiator Guard on. It's the Flatland Racing Radiator Guard. Really helps protect the stock radiator. Mounts at 3 points, mounts there, down here, and then you can't, hard to see it here, but it actually mounts there too, so it kind of wraps all the way around the radiator and helps protect it. Goes right on the bike without any type of modifications. The stock tank shrouds fit and everything, so highly recommended if you're doing any type of off-road riding. It's a Flatland Racing Radiator Guard. We've got a couple red parts that we installed on the bike to make the engine and the bike itself look a little bit flashier, I guess you would say. We kind of packaged these up and we call it our Zeta Red Parts package. What you get with that is the red engine plugs that you see here, and you get the red axle blocks for the rear. You get a pair of those, one for each side. You get the oil filler plug in red, and then you get the oil filter cover in red. So those are the pieces that come standard with the Zeta Red Parts package. And then optionally, you can add the red Zeta drive cover or sprocket cover. We call that our Zeta Red Parts package. We're also running a Zeta heel guard in the back. We're running the black one. You can also get it in titanium silver. Replaces the big plastic piece that comes with on these bikes from the factory, and replace it with a smaller CNC machine piece of aluminum. Again, you can get it in either black or titanium silver. It's called a Zeta heel guard. As part of the Supermoto conversion, we also got rid of the stock front fender, and we put on this Supermoto front fender, which is a universal fender that fits these bikes perfectly. All you got to do is drill the holes on the bottom where they need to be, bolts right up. As you can see, the back part of the fender a little bit shorter than the stock fender. It's also got vents in it, and then the front part of the fender is actually shorter as well. Looks really good on these bikes. Really makes the front end of the bike look a lot better. We went with white. You can also get them in red, black, a couple different colors. It's the Supermoto front fender. Another thing we did as part of the Supermoto conversion, we did have to reroute the front brake line to the outside of the front fork to allow it to clear the 17-inch Supermoto wheels and tires. We also had to trim the plastic protectors, the fork protectors, a little bit on both sides to clear the tires. That was pretty much all we had to do to get the Supermoto wheels and tires on the front. And then in the rear, everything went on fine without any problems. We did change to a 42 tooth rear sprocket though for Supermoto riding. This is a DRC, I think it's called a Dura sprocket, and really nice black sprocket. Been really popular for these bikes. So it's a DRC rear sprocket and a 42 tooth, and we've got the stock front sprocket still on the bike. Seems like the gearing is fine for what we ride it for. We're still running the stock chain and everything. As far as the brakes go, the brakes on the CRF250L is definitely one of the places that Honda kind of cut corners a little bit, and the brakes are just not that good compared to some of the other bikes that we have here. So we decided to upgrade the brake lines to stainless steel brake lines. We went with Galfer lines, front and rear, and what we went with is the clear lines that show the braided stainless steel, and then we went with just the standard silver fittings. We're going to have those also available in a smoked line, which is kind of a smoked brake line. You can still see the stainless steel through it, but it's kind of a darker smoke color. And then you can get the fittings in a couple different colors, red or gold, if you want to do that. So that's the rear brake line we did. And then we also replaced the front brake line as well. Same deal. Braided stainless steel with the silver fittings. Again, you can go with red or gold if you want. Gives you everything you need. Gives you a much better feel on the brakes. The front brake lever is going to have a much more firm feel to it. And the rear brake pedal as well. Just makes a huge difference on the feel of the brakes on these bikes. And we're going to be putting Galfer front brake pads on the bike here at some point. But just doing the lines themselves made a huge difference. We figure once we wear the front pads out, we'll replace those as well. Again, it's the Galfer front and rear stainless steel brake lines. To carry stuff around on the bike, we're running a Wolfman Enduro carry-all number plate bag. This little bag mounts just above the headlight. Gives you plenty of room to carry your wallet, cell phone, keys, stuff like that. Attaches really securely to the handlebars there, and then the bottom part of the bag wraps around the lower triple clamp. That's how we carry stuff around on pretty much all the Supermoto bikes here. It's a Wolfman Enduro carry-all number plate bag. As far as wheels and tires go, we're running SM Pro Platinum Supermoto wheels, front and rear, and we're running the red hubs on the bike. Looks real sharp. Right now we have Continental Attack SM tires, front and rear, but we are going to be switching these out here pretty soon to Bridgestone BT003s, which are what we kind of like to run on all the Supermoto bikes. So right now we've got the Continental Attack SM tires, but we're going to be running the Bridgestone BT003s here pretty soon. One other thing I'll mention too, when we converted it to a Supermoto, the stock kickstand was too long. So what we did is I just bought another factory kickstand. We cut it down by about an inch, I think. Took about an inch off of it, and we just painted it black. And now the bike doesn't stand straight up when you put the kickstand down like it did with the stock kickstand. The stock kickstand is definitely designed for the larger dual sport wheels and tires. So when you go to the smaller 17s, you're going to need to cut the kickstand down. We just bought an extra one. I think it was like 20 bucks. That way, once we switch this bike back to a dual sport, we can just put the stock kickstand back on the bike. One other thing that we just added to the bike recently is this graphics kit. It's our Honda throwback graphics kit, kind of a throwback to the Jeremy McGrath Supercross and motocross bikes from back in the 90s. What it is you get graphics for both sides of the bike. Includes the graphics for the plastic part of the tank shrouds as well as for the gas tank. I think it looks really sharp on the bike. Kind of blends right into the red seat. And I think it just looks really sharp without being too, kind of crazy looking. It just kind of gives the bike a, supercross look to it, which is kind of what we were going for. Again, it's our Honda throwback tank shroud graphics. I think that's pretty much it. I think I've covered pretty much everything. Again, it's our 2013 Honda CRF250L, which we've converted to a Supermoto. You can get more info on this bike by going to our blog website, which is SRmoto.com. Click on the Project Bikes link up at the top, and then navigate down to the CRF250L Supermoto conversion. You can get all the details on the parts we've used on this bike. And it links you over for each part over to our online store, which is soloracer.com/dualsportparts.html. That's where you can purchase all the parts I've talked about in this video. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot us an email, give us a phone call. We're pretty familiar with these bikes, so we know quite a bit about them. We've installed all these parts, so if you have any questions, we can definitely help you out. Again, it's Brett from SRmoto.com with our 2013 CRF250L Supermoto conversion.